Welcome to Global Journeys with Jill Dutton, the podcast that transports you to captivating destinations around the globe. I'm your host, Jill Dutton, a passionate traveler and seasoned travel writer. In each episode, we delve into the heart of a destination with a unique blend of storytelling. Join me as we introduce you to fascinating individuals and explore the enchanted places they call home. To learn more about my writing and podcasting career, stay tuned until the end of the episode for more details. Now, let's embark on this global journey together, one person and place at a time. Welcome, fellow explorers, to another thrilling episode of Global Journeys with Jill Dutton. Today we're casting our line into the world of unparalleled angling adventures at the Broadmoor Fishing Camp in Colorado. Situated 75 miles west of the Broadmoor Resort, along a captivating 5-mile stretch of Colorado's renowned Tarryall River, the fly fishing camp stands as a cherished private retreat, seamlessly blending world-class fishing with the Broadmoor's impeccable standards of hospitality. An idyllic haven for anglers, this secluded paradise, surrounded by picturesque pine and aspen-covered mountains, is not only a delight for fishing enthusiasts, but also offers something special for the entire family. Set against a backdrop of timbered canyons, grassy meadows, and meandering bends, this all-inclusive destination ensures both seasoned fly fishers and novices alike have the opportunity to partake in some of Colorado's finest fishing experiences, all while benefiting from the guidance of professional instructors and the expansive famous skies above. As an Orvis-endorsed fly fishing lodge, the Broadmoor Fly Fishing Camp extends its charm beyond day visits, welcoming guests for overnight stays, family reunions, and corporate retreats. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of this retreat, where the art of fly fishing harmoniously intertwines with the beauty of nature. To get an idea of what you might experience at fishing camp, I've included a link to the itinerary from my visit in 2020, as well as an article I wrote about the experience. Check the show notes to find more. For today's episode, we have two special guests, Krista Heinicke, the Director of Public Relations for the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, and Randy Babbis, the Fly Fishing Manager for the Broadmoor's Fishing Camp. Our guests will unveil the secrets behind the serene waters and breathtaking landscapes surrounding the Broadmoor's exclusive fishing camp. A bit about Krista. The year was 1984 when Krista Heinicke fell in love with the Broadmoor training at the Broadmoor World Arena. Krista formally joined the Broadmoor family in 2009 and has worked in various positions at the hotel over the past 10 years. Her career began in concierge, moving quickly into sales and then over to food and beverage, and now marketing. In November 2021, she was promoted to Director of Public Relations. Before joining the Broadmoor family, she was a senior publicist for a boutique PR agency, Wilkinson Brown. While attending the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, she was co-owner of Chez Pierre, an upscale French restaurant. Krista is an accomplished international and national competitive figure skater, winning a silver medal at the 1990 U.S. Figure Skating Championships. You can find her spending time with her family in the great outdoors, teaching spin classes, fly fishing whenever she can, and entertaining in her home. Randy Babbis is an aspiring Jedi Master turned fly fishing manager from Fountain, Colorado. Randy has been fishing since he was a young boy, with one of his earliest memories fishing the California surf with his dad before he was even in kindergarten. Randy's career started at the Broadmoor, working as a groundskeeper before becoming one of the hotel's security guards. In his free time, Randy moonlighted as a fishing guide for several outfitters in the Colorado Springs area. One day, over pizza in the employee cafeteria, he was offered the job of the newly created fly fishing manager. Randy and his team have built and maintained a successful operation, catering to around 2,500 guests each season. Randy has now been the fly fishing manager for the Broadmoor for a decade. In his spare time, Randy is an avid reader and writer. He collects first edition books, sports cards, and enjoys hunting and fishing with his brothers. He is still working on earning the title of Jedi Master. So whether you're an avid angler or just curious about the allure of fly fishing, sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the world of Broadmoor's Fishing Camp. Stay tuned as we cast our questions to Krista and Randy, unraveling the tales of adventure, serenity, and the ultimate fishing escapades. Krista and Randy, first, thank you for joining me today. It's just really a treat to have you both here to talk about the Broadmoor Fishing Camp.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Krista, we're going to start by diving into the unique story of how the Broadmoor's Fishing Camp, how it came to be, and then we'll switch over to Randy to learn all about fly fishing and the experiences at the fishing camp. So, Krista, how did the fishing camp become an integral part of the Broadmoor Resorts, their legacy, and how has it evolved over the years?
Sure. So it's actually our Orbis and Doris Fly Fishing Camp was brought into the fold of our all-inclusive wilderness experiences in 2013. And it was purchased to really round out the full guest experience of things to do and adventures. And one of the key factors was for us was fly fishing. And we started by dipping our toe in the water. We had a little fly fishing operation prior, but nothing that we could really call our own.
Okay.
So, so when the Enchantment family purchased the hotel, it was important to have just that extra item. So we added fly fishing lessons out in between our east and west courses, and we enhanced the whole experience by developing this and buying this fly fishing camp in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So it was important to keep it small and unique. I almost call it you're overwhelmed by nature because it's extremely tranquil and peaceful.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things where you can kick off your shoes, put on your waders, enjoy a day on the water and an evening with your best friends that you just made, especially if you're solo traveling, which I know is super popular.
And that is an option. Someone could be a solo traveler as well as they don't have to be a group coming in.
No, they do not. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to travel because you'll meet a bunch of people you never thought you would meet A and B, ever be friends with. And then you've got this common denominator of fly fishing and the love of nature. So there you go.
Yes, perfect. well, thank you. Can you kind of paint us a picture of what fishing camp is like for the listeners? You know, what sets the destination apart from other fishing experiences? You know, what kind of is like the day-to-day experience? And as we had already discussed, Heidi Brandis and I had visited in 2020, and we got to meet you there and go fishing with you then. But I'm curious for someone who's not familiar with it, if you can just share a little bit about what the experience is like.
You know, it's one of those destinations that you never thought you needed to experience until you went.
Yes.
And we turned to experience that. And, you know, when we got together to do this, but it's 5 miles of private waters, which is an important thing that we really maintain and cultivate the 5 miles of water starting with up at the Gottenberg Ranch and down. The other piece is that it's just super tailored to that individualized experience. You don't have to bring anything with you. We have everything from waders, boots, poles. Of course, if you forget a rain jacket or sunglasses, you can always get those there. But the other nice thing is that it's an all-inclusive experience. So your meals are made by a Broadmoor chef, which, as you may or your listeners may or may not know, the Broadmoor is the world's longest consecutive recipient of the Forbes 5-Star 5-Diamond AAA 5-Diamond Awards.
Yes.
So to have a chef up there is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and you can libation it up. You know, people do.
Yes.
From lovely wines. And we sure had a good time when we went, Jill, but
oh, it was so fun. And
yeah.
sitting around the table at the end of the day as well, you know, talking with other guests about, you know, their experiences fishing. It's so much fun to connect in that way over dinner and wine and or whatever.
No, yeah. And you know, we really try to encourage that camaraderie. And the other part about it is that it is a part of the Broadmoor, but I sort of equate it to sort of the Wild West experience of the wilderness experiences because it's super small. It's a lot more relaxed. Not to say that the Broadmoor other properties are stuffy, but it's just a different laid back atmosphere. And it's one that whether you're traveling by yourself or with your children or with your best friend or your significant other, it forces you to really unplug and be one with the water and to really take into consideration all of the elements around you. And each time you fish within a season is going to be different. If you're fishing spring, it's going to be completely different than if you're fishing midsummer. You could come back 3 times within a season and really have a different experience each time.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And next question, as an angler yourself, I know that female anglers are increasing. And, could you tell me maybe about these boots are made for wading? Is that tailored for females? And
It is.
how did that come about?
Well, it is, it came about because selfishly, I wanted to get out and fish with anybody I could. And I had been doing some research and discovered that women were, rising and getting on the water. And it was definitely an initiative with Orbis, which, of course, were endorsed by to have a 50-50, 50% female, 50% male on the water. And so it was an initiative that we embraced wholeheartedly, and we offer 2 women's only weekends per season. Having said that, you can really have your own women's weekend anytime because of how small it is. You can definitely have every single cabin for your friends, and it can just be for you guys. So it's free.
Right. So they've got the option of coming to the scheduled event or creating their own by reserving the cabins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Wonderful. And do you have, before we switch to Randy and start talking about fishing, can you share any memorable moments, either of yourself fishing or stories from guests who've experienced the fishing camp? What it is that makes it such an unforgettable destination?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna refer to some of the women's weekends only because it's one of those gems that, the last few camps we've had, a couple of solo travelers, some people who had like a group of 8 with them, and there was about 16 max for the women's weekends. But it's amazing how much women just want to talk to each other about life.
Yes.
And all of the things that come out of the conversations that we have are deeply personal and very, it makes for a quick bond. And that always surprises me, but it's so endearing that in this day and age, when people are consistently tied to social media and lack social skills and conversational skills sometimes, that during this weekend, it is apparent that they all just want to talk and they want to share their experiences on the water. And when I see deeply personal, Jill, it's great. It's a wonderful relief. And I don't think that anyone goes into a fly fishing weekend, whether it's in this women's only or just on their own, to have these personal revelations. And it's fantastic. And I really think it's fly fishing that does it, because you don't realize how precious and beautiful things, how quickly things can change until you're on that water and you catch your first fish. And we're catch and release, which I'm sure Randy will go into. And you see, I caught a little tiny 4-inch fish, and I've caught a big 18-inch fish. And the difference between the two is it's just a miracle. It's great. I love it.
I love it. I think personally, the atmosphere there, it's like you said, you just completely decompress once you get up into the mountain air and the setting and, those rustic cabins, but yet they're very charming and, functional, but so you kind of let down your guard just in general. And then the fly fishing itself is such a peaceful, experience that I can really see that connection with other people, as well as I bet it's just a great stress reliever for people to get away from it all and to experience something slow, slow paced versus this go.
And exactly. And, there is, we can do hiking there and things like that. But what's amazing is they never expect it to hit them the way it hits them. And that's what's really revolutionary about it.
That's true. Well, Krista, thank you so much. Now, Randy, let's talk about fly fishing. I'm very excited to hear about this. So what led you to become the fishing manager at the Broadmoor's Fishing Camp?
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Randy.
So I had moonlighted as a fishing guide in Colorado Springs for several years. And one day I was eating pizza in the cafeteria, and Jack, our CEO, came in and asked me if I wanted to help bring the Broadmoor's fly fishing in-house. And I said, sure, I would love to do that. And then a couple of weeks later, he came back and he said, absolutely. He's like, you're going to be our guy, and you need to create a fly fishing program. And he gave me the keys and said, here you go.
Oh, that's excellent. That's very, very impressive. Because it was a great program that you created. Well, so when I was there, it was my first time fly fishing. I was very new to fishing in general. I had gone on a couple of deep sea kind of fishing expeditions, but it was my absolute first time ever for fly fishing. And you guys, were so patient and teaching, the science of fishing, the fly fishing, looking under the rocks to see what type of fly to use. And we got to watch the creation of you guys making flies. So I'm just curious, is this unusual for me? Are many of your guests new to the sport, or was that unusual that I had never tried it before?
No, we have a pretty good mix of seasoned anglers and people that are first time or never been or very novice.
And so you cater to either?
We do, yeah. Our fishing guides cater your fishing trip to you. And that's not just at the fly fishing camp. That's at Emerald Valley. That's at the resort. I oversee all the fly fishing for the hotel. So everywhere there's fly fishing, that little bit of personalized service is on every trip.
Excellent. Well, so what are the key differences between fishing and fly fishing?
The biggest difference is the method of for lack of a better term, the bait you're using. When you're just conventional fishing, you're using a worm and a bobber or a power bait, something like that. Where in fly fishing, you're trying to fool a fish to eat a hook that is wrapped together with chicken feathers.
Oh,
that's made to imitate a bug that's in the water.
Okay, so it just catches their attention, and they see the colors and the movement, and that it causes them to latch on.
Yes, yeah. So size, color, movement, shape. What you're trying to do is imitate the natural food that the fish are eating that are in the river.
Okay. And I think Krista already talked about this, but so there's no equipment needed. You provide, and what do you provide then?
We provided everything. The only thing you have to bring is the clothes you're going to wear, hat, sunglasses, but the fishing guides have everything you'll need. We have everybody's waders, boots, rods, reels, flies, leader and tippet. Literally all guests have to do is show up, and we'll take care of the rest.
That's amazing. That sounds makes it so much easier, especially for a novice. But okay, and what do you do with the fish once you catch them?
So the fish are our friends and our teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the fly fishing is catch and release. So as soon as you catch your fish, you'll take a couple pictures of them, but you and your fishing guide will put the fish back in the water and watch them swim away.
And there's a sustainable aspect to that. I mean, there's a reasoning, right? Is it for sustainability for the fish and to keep them from?
It is, yeah. Sustainability. It helps us, with the ecosystem. Krista talks a little bit about catching a smaller fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that fish was probably, from reproducing fish in the river. If we took every fish out of the river that we caught, we would clean the river out pretty quickly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And so that in effect then contributes to the health of the local ecosystem as well?
It does. Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Well, that's a great practice. So seasons, Chris had mentioned that different times during the season, but when are the seasons? When's the best time to go fly fishing?
The best time to go fly fishing is very subjective to the person fly fishing.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Jones might want to catch one really big fish, where his wife might want to catch a whole bunch of fish. So different seasons are for different things. You'll catch more fish, I think, in the spring after ice comes off, kind of when the fish are kind of hungry, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the year goes on, fishing gets a little bit tougher. The fish grow throughout the year, and there's bigger fish to be had at the end of the season.
Okay. And if someone is wanting to book a guided fishing, trip to Broadmoor Fishing Camp, is there so far in advance they need to reserve it? I mean, what do you suggest for that?
The fly fishing camp is open seasonally, depending on weather, from May mid-May through mid-October. And as long as we know a couple weeks in advance, we're usually pretty good. There's a lot of moving parts to the fly fishing camp because we're still remote from the Broadmoor. Just logistically wise, I have to make sure that there's enough food and drink and guides to go out there.
Okay. And speaking of guides, why should someone hire a guided service?
Hiring a guide service cuts down the learning curve for fly fishing.
Okay.
You know, if you've seen a river runs through it, there's a lot of stuff that goes into fly fishing. You have to know what bugs to use, what equipment to use, you know, where to go. The fishing guide just cuts down on a lot of that and just, you know, helps you get on the water easier. Especially it's low impact. You don't have to rent anything. You don't have to do anything else.
And Jill, I'm just going to jump in really quickly. And it's always helpful to have a guy take your tree that you've caught and get it off your hook, because that happens.
Oh, yeah.
So first I did jump on.
You said a tree. You said a tree. Is that correct?
I did.
I think I caught a lot of weeds and trees. That's funny. Yeah, no, I do remember that was very valuable because I maybe caught a few things I wasn't supposed to. So, okay. Randy, as far as unique fishing experiences, so the fishing camp, you know, it offers really unique angling experience. And so I'm curious, you know, what makes the fishing there stand out and what types of fish can someone expect to catch?
Absolutely. So what makes us stand out is our service. From the time you get there until the time you leave, your fishing guides are there with you, the camp managers are there, and they're going to help you with everything you need during your stay. So the service is the biggest thing that I think sets us apart. You're getting that 5-star, 5-diamond treatment in a very rustic location on a fishing trip, which is pretty unheard of. It's pretty good deal.
Yes.
The experience of the fishing guides and the camaraderie, you know, when everybody wakes up and has breakfast, lunch, and dinner all at the same time, and you can make friends with everybody that's there at the camp. It's just a really magical experience for everybody involved.
Oh, I agree. Just a little bit as far as the experience goes of, you know, the cabins there. We talked about that a little bit, but the food, it was such a fun experience. And is it still that it's an all-male team and you guys are doing every aspect of taking care of the guests, or is that changed?
It's not an all-male team.
Okay.
And the fishing guides are not the ones, you know, cooking dinners and everything for you. You know, we have dedicated housekeepers and dedicated kitchen staff. Chef Jesus is amazing.
Oh, okay.
And as long as, you know, he knows your dietary restrictions, or if you have any special requests, as long as we know about it, we can get it done. We have guests that, you know, are up there for their birthdays or anniversaries, and if they want a special bottle of wine or a special whiskey or whatever it is, we can accommodate that as long as we know ahead of time.
Perfect. I just remember, I don't know if it's the fresh air or what, but my appetite was just, and the food was phenomenal. So I really appreciated that. So thank you. And last question, what are some of your favorite moments or stories from your time as a fishing manager? Is there any remarkable catches or experiences that stand out in your memory?
Ooh, I've got a lot of them. I would say my favorite memories are probably the ones that the guests don't see. You know, it's me and the fishing guides having breakfast burritos out on the back porch before everybody else wakes up, before we get everybody else's waders and boots and get going for the day, or it's me and the guys going out and having a drink after a long day. Those are probably my favorite memories, the ones I have with the guides. As far as guest memories, there are several. We had a guest client a couple years ago who he told the fishing guide, if you know, for every fish my wife catches, I will give you $100. So the fishing guide ended up walking away with $2,300 or $2,400 in his pocket at the end of the day.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And well, it sounds like you have a dream job. I mean, the camaraderie that you have with the other guides, as well as, you know, the guests and that fun, you know, competitions. And it really sounds ideal. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you both being here to share. Is there anything else that you want to include that I might have forgot to ask?
I think we're good. I think you've covered it all. We appreciate your time and interest, Jill. I mean, this is great.
Oh, I loved it so much. And I hope to come back someday. Thank you both very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I hope you both enjoy the rest of your day. Welcome to Global Journeys with Jill Dutton, the captivating travel podcast that takes you on an extraordinary adventure around the world. I'm your host, Jill Dutton, and I am thrilled to be your guide through the mesmerizing tapestry of cultures, landscapes, and experiences that await us. Global Journeys with Jill Dutton is more than just a travel podcast. It's an exploration of humanity itself. Through the power of storytelling, we illuminate the lives of the remarkable individuals we encounter along the way. Whether it's through the eyes of a fishing guide, a distillery owner, a mixologist, a historian, chef, or even a farmer, each person we meet adds a rich layer to the narrative of culture and place. In this podcast, we embark on a transformative journey where the focus goes beyond the typical tourist attractions. Instead, we dive deep into the hearts and souls of the places we visit, uncovering the hidden gems and untold stories that make each destination truly unique. Join me as we venture off the beaten path, seeking authenticity, connection, and a deeper understanding of the world we inhabit. Together, we'll unravel the tapestry of cultures, one story at a time. Although my writing career began in the late 90s when I created and launched a wellness publication called Evolving Magazine, since 2015, I've worked as a travel writer on a mission to seek out the locally celebrated foods, liquor trends, outdoor activities, and stories of those I meet along the way. My work has been published in Wine Enthusiast, Afar, Woman's World, First for Women, Insider, Road Trippers, Modern Farmer, Chilled Magazine, and many more digital and print publications. I'm also the creator of Global Plates, The People We Meet, The Food They Eat, a syndicated column. Creating this podcast is the next step in my journey of sharing the stories of the people I've met along the way. So pack your curiosity, leave your preconceived notions behind, and let's embark on Global Journeys with Jill Dutton, where each episode promises to inspire, educate, and awaken the wanderlust within us all. As we travel on this exciting podcasting journey together, I invite you, our incredible audience, to be a part of it. Share your own travel stories, insights, and recommendations with us. Whether you have a hidden gem in your hometown or a dream destination that has captured your imagination, we want to hear from you. Your suggestions will help shape the future episodes of Global Journeys with Jill Dutton, guiding us towards extraordinary locations and experiences that deserve a spotlight. Remember, this podcast is not about just the host or the guests. It's about the collective exploration and discovery that unites us all as wanderers in this vast world. So reach out to us through our website, social media channels, or email and let your voice be heard. Send your suggestions to me at jill@globaljourneyswithjilldutton.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, may your travels be filled with endless curiosity, open-hearted encounters, and transformative adventures. Safe travels, fellow explorers, and keep wandering.